tutorial by Learn Fast Studios.
I would like to start with a simple inheritance and then want to show all sorts of the inheritance and then how it is advantageous. That is a first thing. After inheritance, I would like to show you what is an abstract class and then why we are going for this abstract class. After this, I would like to explain the interface. This is the agenda for inheritance means acquiring the properties of one class to another class called as an mobile OS. Okay, so this is the class that I would like to create. So what are the various methods which are needed for any mobile OS? What are the basic functionalities that we need to provide in the mobile operating system? Any mobile has to perform two of the operations, right? Calling is one feature and then messaging is another feature, isn't it? Any mobile has to provide these two services. These are the basic services, aren't they? In this mobile OS 1. Mobile OS 1. So this is the basic operating system that I have created for the mobile. So system dot out dot println calling. And then similarly for messaging method, what would be the code for the message method? Message. Okay, message. So these are the two services that I initially, when I'm designing my OS 1.0, these are the two services that I have created. Now I just would like to make one new update for this mobile OS 1. So then what should be the class name? Class my mobile OS 2. And then what is the new feature that I would like to add in the mobile OS 2? Void video call. So what should be the code inside?
Video call.
Video. That's it. Okay. So this is how I'm going to create my OS2. Suppose if I'm creating any object for my mobile OS1, how to create object for my mobile OS1? How to create object for my mobile OS1?
My mobile OS will
My mobile OS1. Let me create M1 equal to new.
My mobile OS.
Let's. Okay. So what are all the services that I can access using this M1? What are the services that I can access through this M1?
Calling and message.
Calling and then messaging. So these are the two properties of this particular class, right? So by creating object for this particular class, what I can do, I can access the services which are offered by this particular class. So shall we call those methods? M1 dot, how to call? What is the syntax? Object dot method name, right? Isn't it? Object dot method name, right?
Yes.
So how to call method? I want to call method using M1 object. How to call that? M1. That's it. Suppose if I want to call message method.
M1 dot message.
M1 dot. As simple as that. Okay. Can I call this video call method using M1?
No, sir.
Why? Because that video call method is not included in this particular class, right? So whatever the methods which were available within the class, all those methods are only accessible by means of this object. Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let us save this program and then compile the program. How to compile? What is the code? Java C.
Inherit use.java.
Inherit .java. I don't have any error. Execute, inherit. Are we able to execute both the methods or not?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now what I'm doing, please remember, first, this is especially very, very important scenario everyone has to remember. I'm just making this one as a private. Okay. What I'm doing, I'm adding one access specifier for this method. What is the access specifier that I have included here?
Private, sir.
Private, sir.
Private. Okay. So now let us try to compile this code and then see what will happen. What is happening here? Can you read this error message? What it is saying?
Call has a private access in my mobile OS 1.
So which means that any method which is declared as a private cannot be accessible outside this class. Let us try to call that method here directly. Call. Okay, this is a method call, right? This call method.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so suppose if you want to execute this message, then directly what you can do, simply you can use message. This way you can call the methods within the class. Within the class you need not to create any object. Okay, now what I'm doing, I'm just making this one as a comment, and then now I'm trying to make this call. Okay, so now let us again compile the code. Are you getting any error here?
No, sir.
That means if you make any method as a private, that is accessible within the class, but it is not accessible outside the class. If you make any variable or method as a private, even you create an object for that, you cannot access that particular method outside the class. That is how we are creating the protection for the data. Okay, so that is the benefit of class. Can you please tell me, suppose if I want to access void call, what should I do now?
Extends my
Huh?
mobile OS. Class
No,
my
no.
mobile OS. Or
Check
create an
my
object.
by creating object. How should I create object for that?
My mobile
My
OS to
mobile
M2.
OS 2 M2 equals
M2
to
equals to my
M2.
mobile OS.
X. So this is how what I'm going to do. I'm going to create an object for my mobile OS, isn't it? What are the methods which are accessible by means of this M2? What are the methods which are accessible within this? I mean
video
M2.
calls.
Only video call I can access. The reason is this my mobile OS2 contains only video call method. Suppose if I make this one as a private, what will happen?
We can't
We cannot access.
Even that video call is also not accessible outside. Keep that thing in your mind. Okay, now the problem is that my mobile operating system, and then I have developed two of the services, call and then message. In my advanced OS, I want to reuse these methods. I don't want to rewrite the code again. I just would like to reuse these services. How can I reuse that? By means of the concept called as an inheritance. What is that? Inheritance. So what do you mean by the inheritance? Acquiring the properties of one class to another. So what is the class from which we are acquiring? My mobile OS 1. From this class, I want to acquire the properties to my mobile OS 2. Then what I need to do? I need to use a keyword called as an extends. To which class you want to acquire the properties? You need to use the keyword extends. And then from which class you want to acquire the properties, you need to mention that class name. Which class we want to extend the properties, we want to get the properties?
My mobile OS 1.
Okay, so how you can interpret this particular statement? Basically, you have a basic version of my mobile OS 1, and then this my mobile OS 2 is providing the additional features, extends this my mobile OS 1. That is how you need to interpret. Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Can you please tell me what is the base class here?
My mobile OS 1.
So this is base class. Okay. What is the derived class?
My
My
mobile OS.
mobile OS 2.
Derived class. What is the superclass?
My
What is
mobile
the
OS 1.
what is the subclass? My mobile OS 2. What is the parent class? My mobile OS 1. What is the child class? My mobile OS 2. These are used as a synonymously. All these base and then derived all these words we will be using synonymously. Okay, now what I'm doing, I'm just removing this part of the code and then I'm only creating object for my mobile OS2 M2. Okay, so using this M2, what I'm trying to do, I'm going to call method call next M2 dot message and then M2 dot video call. Now, basically, how many methods were defined inside this my mobile OS2?
One method.
Only one method. But how many services or methods that I can access here?
Three.
Three. That means two more methods I am acquiring from my mobile OS1. Isn't it yes or no? So by means of inheritance, are we able to reuse the code or not? Can you name one of the advantage now? What is the advantage of inheritance? Reusability. Reusability. Is that okay? Right. Now, what I would like to do is I want to create more advanced version. Class my mobile OS2, OS3. Okay. This is the new version. Okay. In this, what is the new feature that I would like to create? Void video message. So this is the feature that I would like to include. Okay. So how to add that? System dot now dot println. Am I clear? Any doubts? Any questions?
Sir, video message, sir.
Yes, video message. Okay. So is it clear? Any doubts? Any questions till now?
No, sir.
Okay. Suppose if I create any object for my mobile OS3, then what are all the messages? What are all the methods that I can access? My mobile OS3. What are all the methods which I can access now?
Video message.
Only video message. Okay. Suppose if I am extends my mobile OS1. Now, can you please tell me what are the methods which I can access?
Call video message.
Call,
Message and
Video
video
message.
call,
Message.
message, and then video message. For
Video message.
example, if I am extending my mobile OS2,
Video call also will come.
do you understand? So which type of inheritance is this? This inheritance is called as a multi-level inheritance. For example, if you include this my mobile OS1, this is an example for
Multiple.
not multiple, hierarchical.
Hierarchical.
Why hierarchical? We are having one base class, multiple derived classes, one base class and then multiple derived classes. Am I clear? Any doubts, any questions? Till now, is that okay?
Clear, sir.
Is okay, right. For now, you please tell me what are all the methods that I can access? OS3. What are all the methods which I can access? What are the methods which I can access?
M2 dot
Like
video message.
M2 dot video message. So now I can access all four. For example, if I'm not extending OS2, rather I am extending OS1. In that case, is there any error?
M1 dot call
M1 dot what?
column.
We don't have M1 at all, right? We have only M2. Do you understand?
Okay, sir.
Okay, M2 dot. What are the methods which I can access? Please look at this definition and then answer the question. Methods which are defined in my mobile OS1 and the methods which are defined
Call,
in my
message,
mobile.
and video message.
Yes, this one is not accessible, isn't it? Yes or no? Now let us try to compile the code and then execute. I am able to execute that code. Is that okay? Any doubts, any question? But why I am getting, okay. Why I am getting 2 times this calling? The reason is in the message method, I am again calling this call method. So that is the reason why I am getting that. I am removing this. Now again compile and then execute. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Is it clear that up to now, what are the topics that we discussed? We discussed about what is a class and then how to include some methods in the class. If you make it private, what will happen? How to access the methods of the class. After that, how to create a child class to the base class, and then how we can implement single inheritance, multi-level inheritance, hierarchical inheritance. I would like to add one method called as an display method. Okay. Void here I am writing system dot out dot println. This is OS1, right? What is this OS?
Version 1.
OS1. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm trying to redefine the same method in derived class also. But here it is version 2. And then here it is version. If we are creating an object for M2, and then if we are trying to call M2 dot display, how many display methods are accessible? How many display methods are accessible for this M2? How many display methods are accessible for this M2? By creating objects for the derived class, you can access the methods in derived class as well as in base class, isn't it? This method is accessible. At the same time, this method is also accessible since it is inheriting mobile OS1, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Then how come it is able to differentiate between these two? Which method it executes? That is defined by means of a concept called as an overriding. What is that? Okay. So Java allows to define, say, method with same signature both in base class, derived class. What is the base class for this mobile OS 3?
Mobile OS 1.
So in that class also we are having same void display. Signature means the return type and then arguments, both are same. So do you observe this? Both are same, isn't it? Yes or no? Is there any difference between the method definition? Both are same except the code inside it, isn't it? So in this sort of the scenarios, what this overriding will tell, which is the older version and then which is the new update, which method is a older version and then which method is a new update.
My mobile OS
My
1.
mobile OS 1.
Is the older version, right?
Yes.
And then this is the latest version, right? So when you are calling display method, whichever is the recent one, that method will get executed. So now let us try to compile this code and then execute Java C and then Java. Now, what is the version that we are able to see?
Version
Recent
3.
version.
Is it okay? Any doubts, any questions?
No, sir.
Okay, so this is how it gets executed. Now, let me tell you one more important factor, which is a polymorphism example that I am going to tell you. My mobile OS1, let me create an object M1. Okay, how to allocate memory for this M1? M1 equal to new my mobile OS1, right? Now, suppose you are calling a method M1 dot display. What is the method that it will execute? M1 dot display. Which method it executes? What you are doing? You are creating an object for
Version
my
1.
mobile. But version 1 is the output. Very good. Excellent. Now what I'm trying to do is I'm assigning M1 equal to new my mobile OS2. This is possible. Okay. By means of the formula base class object can be used to refer to derived class. For my mobile OS2, what is the base class? For my mobile OS2, what is the base class?
My mobile OS 1.
M1 is an object for,
My mobile OS 1.
so I can use this object to refer to the derived class. Now what I'm doing, I'm calling which method? Same M1 dot display. Okay. Similarly, can I use M1 equal to new my mobile OS3? Can I do this or not? What is the base class of my mobile OS3?
My mobile OS 1.
So can I refer this or not?
Yes, sir.
So now again I am calling M1 dot display, right? Same code. Do you observe that? M1 dot display, M1 dot display, and then M1 dot display. Isn't it yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So let us observe what is the output. What happened? When you are assigning M1 with the base class, then you are getting
Version 1.
version 1. When you are assigning version 2 object, I mean my mobile OS version 2, then it is acting like object for
My
my
mobile
OS2.
OS 2.
When you are assigning OS3 object, then it is acting like object for.
My mobile OS.
So same object is acting in the different roles, isn't it? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
And when you are having same method name in both the base class and then derived class, according to the runtime, it is going to decide which method it has to execute, which is also known as dynamic method dispatch. That means which method it has to execute is decided at the runtime by means of M. Since M1 is pointing to the base class, it is executing that method in the M1. Sorry, that method in the OS1. Later we are assigning OS2 object. Hence, it is acting like an OS2 and then calling the method OS2. And then similarly like OS3. So this concept is called as a dynamic method dispatch. Is that clear? Any doubts, any questions till now?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay. Now what I'm doing here, I am making this one as an final. And then shall I compile the code? What it is saying?
We cannot override the display method in other classes.
That means when you are using a keyword final, overriding is not allowed. That means you cannot give any changes for this display method in future versions. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Similarly, let us observe one more important point. Let us give this final variable to the class and then try to compile the code. What it is saying, please observe.
We cannot inherit from the my mobile OS 1.
That means if you give final for the class, then you cannot inherit from that class at all. You cannot modify the contents of this class. You cannot reuse these classes, reuse these methods and then give a different definition. But if you are giving this final to the method, you can override, you can inherit, but you cannot override display method. We have seen two cases. One is using final with the class. If you are using final keyword with the class, then that class cannot be inherited in future. You cannot give extension to that class. Okay. And then similarly, if you include final keyword in front of the method, you cannot override. You cannot override that particular method. Is that okay? Any doubts, any question? So final will prevent redefinition. Final will prevent redefinition or extension. Any doubts, any questions? If you don't have any doubt, I will go move forward. Before that, I want to show you Java P, Java dot lang dot string class. Can you read what is this class definition? This is a string class, right? Class, string class. What is the keyword we have used in front of this string class? What is the keyword that we have used in front of this string class?
Final.
Final.
Fine. That means you cannot inherit the string class. You cannot inherit the string class. Is it okay? Similarly, you may have Java dot Java P, Java dot lang dot system. Observe here. What is this system class?
Final class.
That means nobody else cannot inherit this system class and then add some more features to that or modify the features for this. And then do you observe all these variables are final variables? That means you cannot change the content of that. Is that okay? Any doubts, any questions?
No, sir.
One more last, Java P, Java dot lang dot math. What is this class? Math class?
That is also final class.
That is also final class, right? Can you please tell me Java P, Java dot AWT dot, okay. Can I inherit this class?
Yes, sir.
Why? Because this is not a,
Not final.
Final class.
okay. So what are all the methods which are already there available, set title, get title, all these methods automatically you will acquire into.
Yes, sir.
So for example, SUBL, my frame dot Java class my frame. Okay. Here you are including some public static void main string AR. Okay. Now what you are doing? Import Java dot AWT dot frame class, and then here you want to make extends frame. Can you do that or not? Can you do this?
Yes, sir.
Here, how to create object for this? Object for this class? My frame M1 equal to my frame M1 equal to
New
New my frame.
new
frame.
my frame. That's it. And then here you can add some text sample. And then you can also use M1 dot set visible. So do you have this method in this class? Do you have this method? Set visible method, do you have in this class?
No, sir.
From where you can obtain? Do you have this set visible method here? Whether you have set visible to or not set visible.
No, sir.
Okay. It is not having that set visible, right? Is that having set visible?
No, sir.
Okay, very good. Now you just tell me this frame is also extending what? Frame
Window.
is extend window
Window
class. So Java P, Java dot AWT dot window. Here, please observe whether you are having set visible or not. Do you have this
Yes,
method? Do you understand? Are we able to access this method or not?
Yes, sir. We are able to access.
Who are writing all this code? In the Java, already you have that feature, right? In Java, you are already having all well-defined the code. Now let us compile this code. How to compile? Java C Java dot sorry, my frame dot Java. What it is saying? It is saying new my frame of okay. So what you have to do? Just leave it, remove this, and then m1 dot set title my mobile app. Let us check this. Javas. Okay, let us run this code and then see what is output. How to run the code? Java space
My friend.
my frame. Are you able to see graphical interface or not? What is the app name?
My mobile app.
Are you able to see that?
Yes, sir.
So that is how we can create. How many lines of the code we wrote for creating this window? How many lines of the code that we have used? Isn't it yes or no? So that is the advantage of inheritance. Can you please tell me which kind of the inheritance it is? Which kind of the inheritance it is?
Single
Is
inheritance.
it a single inheritance? My frame is extending what?
Frame class.
Frame. But frame is extending
Window. Okay.
window. That means this is which kind of inheritance?
Multi-level.
Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
So that is the advantage of the reusability. For everything, you need not to write down the code. Only the reason why we have to learn all these concepts to see the complete potential of the Java, to learn the complete potential of the Java. That is the reason we are learning all these concepts. Shall we close this inheritance topic and then go to abstract class?
Yes, sir.
If you are having any doubt, you can ask me, right? So you can see Java P, Java dot lang dot, Java P, Java dot AWT dot frame. Here you can set background color. See here you can apply some background color. You can also add some shape and then you can add some components like button and then other things. Okay. So that is how it will help you to develop applications faster. We need not to write down all the code. Already, a lot of the code is already available in your Java pre-compiled classes, which are packages. Now, only thing what you need to do for your purpose, which package is having which class, whether you need to import that class or whether you need to create an object for that class. You need to understand that. Can I similar way, can I write down class my string extends string? Can I write down that way? Class my string extends string, class my string extends string. Can I write that line of the code? I'm not
Yes,
getting
sir.
any. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
sir.
Can I write down class my string extends string?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yeah.
That then you don't understand my concept.
Sir.
String class is a string class is a Java P, Java dot lang dot string.
String.
Okay. So string class is a
Fine. Okay,
Final
okay.
class.
That's and
it
then
is
we
a
can.
final class.
Yes, sir.
You cannot
Yes, sir.
inherit
We cannot
this string
inherit.
class.
Yes, sir.
That is the reason why we are learning final keyword.
Okay, sir. Okay.
If you don't know, since if you don't know that concept, then what you may feel, I will inherit the string class and then I will add some more methods and then make it like in my string, right?
Sir, but how
But
do we know that we are accessing final class, sir?
By
No.
just looking at the class definition, Java P, Java dot lang dot string. So by looking at this, what you can observe, whether this class is a
Okay, sir.
final
Final
class
or not? Yeah.
you can able to observe that, and then accordingly you can code. Okay. Now, can you please tell me, suppose I want to, for my program, I want to acquire the properties of the thread. I want to acquire the properties of the thread. How can I do that? Thread is one class, Java P, Java dot
Java
lang
dot
dot
lang dot
thread. Okay, so this is the class. Now you please tell me, suppose I am having my thread. I'm having
class
my thread.
my
Class,
thread
my thread extends.
thread.
That's it.
Yes.
Now your my thread class will act like a thread.
Thread.
You got it? That is how you can acquire. You can also use this start, stop, run, all these methods without writing the code. You can use all these methods, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So that is the reason why we are learning all these concepts. It is not because of the marks or because of the topic. Okay, is it clear? Shall we go to the next topic?
Sir, how is set visible method is like how do we use it? Like
How do?
for what purpose? For what purpose we use set visible, sir?
To make your frame visible, we are using that set visible.
But what if we
you-
give false in it, sir? We
Eh,
can't.
By default, it will be false itself. By default, it will be kept like in false. When you run the code, you are not able to see the frame.
Sir, if we don't give any arguments in it, defaultly take false or true, sir?
It will give an error because what is the definition? Java P, Java dot AWT dot window, right?
Yes, sir.
In this, you are having this set visible method. What is the what is the method? Definition.
Set visible boolean.
Boolean. That means you need to pass which argument?
Boolean argument. True or
If you
false.
don't pass any argument, then it raises an error.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
You are also having one more method called as a set size. That means length and breadth. Earlier, it is you are able to see that in the minimum mode, right? So now, suppose you want to see m1 dot set size of 300 comma 400. That means the length and then breadth are 300 and then 400. Now you want to compile the code Java semi-frame, and then how to run the code? You just tell me.
Java space
my.
my.
Are you able to see your app or
Okay.
not?
Yes, sir.
This is how it will work. Okay. That
Yes,
is
sir.
the benefit. That is the advantage. That is the reason why you need to learn Java. With
Yes, sir.
3 or 4 lines of the code, you can create your own application. You can add some buttons over this. You can add some text boxes. You can also add. Okay.
Okay.
Any doubts? Any questions?
No, sir.
Example for the abstract class. Okay. SUBL abstract ex.java. Okay, a class is called as an abstract when it is having abstract keyword in its class definition. Okay, before that, the basic code class abstract ex open bracket close bracket public static void main string AR. Okay, now here let me define one class. Let me create the basic thing mobile. Okay, class mobile. Okay, I just wanted to make this class as an abstract. How I can do that? Simply use a keyword abstract. Now your class will become as an abstract class. Is it okay? Is it okay? Any doubts,
Yes,
any
sir.
question?
No,
Okay. Now, normally what are the methods? What are the services which are offered by the mobile? One is a calling, other one is a messaging, isn't it? Response, please.
Yes, sir.
So what I'm going to do now, void call, and simply I'm keeping semicolon, making this method as an abstract. So what is the definition of an abstract method? It is a method without body. Okay. Abstract method is a method which is defined by means of the keyword abstract and which does not contain the method body. Is it okay? Any doubts, any questions till now? We have seen what is an abstract class. A class which is having this abstract keyword is called as an abstract class. Can we have one more class? Apple Mobile. What is the difference between these two? What is the difference between? I want you to be active. What is the difference between these two? Apple Mobile class and then mobile class.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Can you please identify what is the difference between these two? Apple Mobile and then mobile.
Mobile class is an abstract class.
Mobile class is an abstract class and then Apple Mobile is a
Public class.
normal class.
Normal class.
Abstract TX is a
Main normal
abstract
class.
TX is a normal class.
Normal
only.
class.
Okay. Now, an abstract class may contain both abstract methods as and concrete method as well as in concrete methods. Now, let me add one more method, message. System.out.println message. Now, can you be able to differentiate between this message method and then call method? What are your observations?
Call method is abstract, sir. Message method is not abstract.
Okay. Does call method is having the method body? What it has to
No,
do?
sir.
So any abstract method will not have the method body, whereas in concrete methods will be having method bodies. An abstract class may contain both abstract methods as well as in concrete methods. Now, mobile contains how many abstract methods?
One.
One abstract method. How many concrete methods?
One, sir.
One. What is that method?
Message.
Message method. Now, what I am going to do, I would like to create an object for this mobile and then see what will happen. Okay. Mobile. How to create object for any class? Mobile.
M1 is equal to
M1 equal to new
mobile.
mobile. Okay. Let us compile this code. How to compile?
Java C space abstract ex.
Now what it is saying?
Mobile is abstract.
Mobile is a abstract class. You cannot create instance for abstract class. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Suppose if you define a class as an abstract class, you cannot create an instance for that class. The problem is this may contain some methods without method body, isn't it? This mobile is having some methods without method body. Suppose if you are trying to call m1.call, does the JVM know which method, which code it has to execute?
No, sir.
So that is the reason it will not allow to instantiate an abstract class. Okay. Any doubts, any questions till now?
No, sir.
Okay. Now what I'm going to do here, let me add one method, abstract void video call. abstract void video call, abstract void video call. And then I am removing this code. Now, can you please tell me whether this video call method is an abstract method or a concrete method?
Abstract method.
method.
Okay, what I am trying to do, I am trying to define an abstract method in a normal class,
Well,
isn't it?
class. Yes,
Normal class. Now let us try to observe what will happen. What it is saying, please observe that. Apple Mobile is not
Abstract.
abstract. So, and you can only give the abstract methods if that method is inside in abstract class. Is it okay? Any doubts, any questions?
No, sir.
Okay, now let me remove this. And then what I want to do is, I want to acquire into the Apple Mobile. I want to acquire the properties of mobile. How to acquire the properties? Please tell me. How to acquire the properties of one class to another?
Extends.
Extends
Okay, super. Extends what?
mobile.
That's it. Okay. Now shall we compile the code? Do you find any error in it? Do you find any error in it? You don't have any error in inheritance concept, but you are not having an idea about this abstract, right? Remaining thing is fine, isn't it? Yes or no? Now let us simply compile the code. See what it is saying. What it is saying. Apple Mobile
Mobile is
is not abstract, does not override
abstract method.
call in
In
which
mobile.
class? Mobile.
Mobile
So
class.
in mobile class, we have an abstract method. What is that abstract method?
Call.
Call. Do we override that method here? We didn't override, isn't it? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So what we have to do, we need to override. How to override? We need to give the same return type void, and then same method name call, and then same number of parameters. And then here I'm going to write down system dot out dot print ln call. Is it okay? Any doubts, any questions?
No, sir.
Sir.
So this is how what I can do. I can create I can override method. What is overriding? Suppose if you want to override a message into Apple Mobile, is it possible or not? Can you override message method in Apple Mobile? This is a question that will be asked in interviews. Can you override message method in Apple Mobile? Can you override message method in Apple Mobile? Please remember the earlier example. What is the earlier example? OS 1, OS 2, OS 3. There you have override which method?
Display.
Similarly, can we override message method or not? Can we override message method or not? Answer is yes, we can override the method, but it is not mandatory for us. Compulsory, you need not to override concrete method, but whereas any method which is an abstract has to be overridden in its derived class. In mobile class, how many abstract methods are there?
One.
Only one. So that is the reason it is asking you to override call method. But whereas a message method is not a,
Abstract method.
so it has some default implementation. So it is not worried about its redefinition of the method. If you are interested, you can override the method and then give a different syntax for it. Okay, different method definition for it. Is it clear? Any doubts, any questions? Shall we compile the code? Java C abstract ex. Now I am not going to get any error. Okay. Is it okay? Any doubts, any questions? Is it okay? Any doubts, any questions?
No, sir.
Okay. Now, shall we see one that sort of an example in Java? Java P, Java dot Java dot awt dot mouse adapter. It is Java dot dot event dot mouse adapter. Let me check this. When we have this mouse adapter, java dot awt dot event spelling mistake. That is the reason why we are not getting. Okay, can you please observe what kind of this class is this mouse adapter?
Abstract.
Is it a normal class or an abstract class?
Abstract.
Okay, so how many methods here are abstract? How many methods here are abstract? Do you find any method here which is an abstract?
No, sir.
Any method, if it is an abstract, that will be having a keyword abstract in it. Isn't it yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Now I am simply changing this from the mouse to mouse listener. Okay. Now, can you please identify whether this method is a concrete method or an abstract method?
It is an abstract method, sir.
Do you understand? So if you try to implement this method, you need to mandatorily override this mouse click, isn't it? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
But here, is it mandatory for us to override this mouse click?
No, sir.
That is how you will get the difference, right? So that is the difference between an abstract class and then normal class and then abstract method and then normal method. Is it clear? To know that difference, we'll be using this, what do you call, abstract class concept. Is it okay? Any doubts, any questions? So SUBL, interface, ex.java. Okay. Next, Java does not support multiple inheritance directly. Java does not support multiple inheritance directly. It will support, it will implement, it helps to implement the multiple inheritance with the help of interfaces. Okay, an interface is a class which contains the final variables and abstract methods. Here, star mark until Java 1.7. Okay, please remember this. This is a very, very important point. Okay, it contains the final variables and then as well as an abstract methods. Now, let us see one that sort of an interface example. Class interface AX public static void main string AR. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to create one class my frame and I want to acquire the properties of frame to this my frame. How can I acquire the properties of frame to my frame? How can I acquire the properties of frame to my frame?
Extends.
Extends what?
Frame.
Frame. That's it. Very good. So here what I need to do, import java.awt.frame. Since this frame class is available in this AWT package, you need to import that. Okay. Now here, how to create the constructor? My frame, right? Isn't it? Yes or no? How to create the constructor for this my frame?
One is equals to my
Constructor. Class name.
my frame and one.
Right. So here what I am doing, I am calling the method set title of sample window, and then I want to call a method. Otherwise, simply I'm just leaving as it is. I'm just leaving as it is. I don't want to do anything here. I'm just leaving. without any confusion. How can I create object for this my frame? My frame.
M1 is equal to
M1 equal to
new my
My friend.
new my frame. Okay, and then here M1 dot set title and M1 dot set size of some 400 comma 400. Then M1 dot set visible. What do you have to do? True. Okay. Is it okay? Any doubts? Any questions?
No, sir.
Normally, if you write only class my frame, can you do all these things? Setting title, set size, set visible.
No, sir.
So by acquiring the properties, by inheritance, do we reduce the code or not?
We reduce, sir.
Okay. Now let us try to compile this code. Java C interface x.java and then Java space. Now, are you able to see this? My
Yes, sir.
friend? Okay, that is how you will develop application. Okay, Control C. Okay, now what I want to do is I would like to acquire the property from more than one class to this my frame. I want to acquire the properties from more than one class. Is it possible? Java does not support multiple inheritance. The problem is that, for example, if I'm having one more class B, okay, one more class B. Suppose if you are having set title method here, set title method here. Suppose here you say extends frame comma B. M1, how many set title methods are accessible here? How many set title methods are accessible if you are having this multiple inheritance? Set title method is there available in frame class, right?
Two.
So two methods are there. There is a confusion, isn't it? Yes or no? This problem is called as a diamond reference problem. Diamond reference problem. So you don't know which method you need to call when you are having more than one class extended. So to clear that, what I'm going to do, I'm going to use a concept called as an interface. Interface space interface name. Let me create one interface C. Otherwise, let me create one interface name called as an emotion. And then here, I want to define a method void happy. Is it okay? Any doubts, any questions till now? What I'm doing, I want to create one interface called as an interface space interface name and then void happy. Is it okay? Any doubts, any questions?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now, let us compile this code. Clear? Java C interface x dot Java. Now ls. So do you have this emotion class?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So how to open that class? Java P. How to check what is the definition of that class? Java P space.
Java dot.
Not required. Directly it is available in the same folder. Directly you can write down emotion.
Yes.
Now, do you observe what is the definition of this void happy?
Abstract.
Abstract. So any method which is defined in the interface, by default it will be considered to be as an
Abstract.
abstract class. Is it okay? Any doubts, any questions? Okay. Now, please check one more important thing. Java P space. Here, my frame class is also there, right? So how to know what is the definition of the my frame? Java P space.
My friend.
My frame.
My frame. That's it. Now, do you create this constructor? Do you write down the code for that? My frame. Do you write down the code? Constructor? See, here in the my frame, do you write any constructor? Is my question clear? Is my question clear? We are having class my frame, right?
Yes,
Do we
sir.
have?
Yes, sir.
In this, do we write any constructor?
No.
No. But
No, sir.
how come we are able to get this code? JVM provides default constructor. JVM will provide the default constructor. Please observe what is this class name? What is the class name? Interface.
X.
Yeah, interface EX, right? So how to see what is that class definition? Java P
Interface EX.
Interface EX.
interface EX. See here also you have the constructor or not?
Yes, sir.
So if you don't create any constructor, Java JVM will automatically provide the default constructor. Okay?
Yes, sir.
These are the things that you need to remember in the interview perspective. Okay. And next important point. Okay. Now, an interface is not extended, rather it will be implemented. Now I want to get emotion into this my frame. How to get that? Implements what? Emotion. Implements what? Emotion. Now, can you please tell me, do you have method body for this void happy in the emotion? Do you have method body?
Yes, the void happy.
No, it is an which
Method.
kind of the method? It is an concrete method or an abstract method?
Concrete.
Is that a concrete method? Concrete method should have method body, right?
It's an abstract method. sir.
Abstract method.
It is an abstract method. Already you have seen here. Any method which is defined in the interface, by default, it will be an.
Abstract method.
Abstract method.
So an interface can contain only final variables and then abstract methods until Java 1.7. Please remember this. I will tell what will happen afterwards. Okay. Now, what you have to do when you have an abstract method and then you are trying to acquire that property into the class, then what you have to do? Any abstract method should be override. Excellent. Very good. How to override? Same void happy. Let us see. Without this, let us try to compile the code. See what it is saying? My frame is not abstract, does not override which method?
Happy.
Happy.
So do you understand? So whenever we are having the interface, we need to give this method implementation in its implementation class. What is the implementation class of the emotion? What is the implementation class of the emotion? My frame is the implementation class, right? So here, void happy, open bracket, close bracket, system dot out dot println, I am happy. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Now just check, compile. Okay. But the problem is that you need to give public access specifier here. It has to be public. This has to be public. Compile. See, now is it clear? Any doubts, any questions? Any doubts, any questions? Any doubts, any questions till now? So what we have done, we have created an interface and then we want to acquire the properties of this interface into my frame class. Okay. Now my frame will be acquiring the properties of what? My frame will be acquiring the properties of both
Frame and emotion.
frame and then emotion. Isn't it yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So that is how, if a class is acquiring the property from more than one class, then it is said to be as a multiple inheritance. Do you understand how we are able to implement the multiple inheritance? How we are able to implement the multiple inheritance? By means of interface. Now, I want to have one more interface. Interface space power void super power. Okay. Now, how can I acquire the power properties into my frame?
Implements a power.
But already we have
Motion.
this implements emotion, right? So then
Commas.
you can add simply
Comma power.
power. That's it. Okay. Now, is there any error in this code? Is there any error in this code?
We need to override.
Yes.
Yeah.
What is the method that we need to override?
A
Super
power. Super power.
So public void super
power.
power. Then, is it clear? Here I will be writing simply one printf statement. Okay. Any doubts? Any questions?
No, sir.
Okay. Now, for example, I want to acquire the properties of emotion into power. How can I acquire the properties of emotion into power? What is an emotion?
Interface.
Interface. Power.
Interface.
So how can I acquire the properties of one interface to another interface?
Implements.
No. An interface can acquire the properties of one more interface by using extends. Extends emotion. Now here, now power is having both the interface
Both
methods, right?
emotion.
So I will be writing down simply power. Is it okay? Any doubts, any questions?
No, sir.
Any doubts, any questions?
No, sir.
Right. Why I cannot write implements here? The reason is you cannot contain concrete methods in interfaces, right? Suppose if you write down implements, you need to override this void happy method, right? Can you override that void happy method in an interface? You cannot have a method with body, right? In interface. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
So
Yes.
that is the reason you cannot use the implements, but it is having extents. That means earlier I have only one abstract method. Now I will be including the one more extension, which is a one more abstract method. Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
Right. And one important point from the Java 1.7, 1.8 onwards, you can also give method body. So how you can give method body? Void punch power interface. Abstract methods cannot have
Body.
got it. So punch power, I try to define a normal method, but it is saying that there is an error, isn't it? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So what I can do, how I can provide? I am going to provide default keyword. What is that?
Default.
So and then here I am writing system.out.println. I have punch power. Got it? Any doubts? Any questions? Now, do we get any error?
No, sir.
So this is the very, very important point. So from Java 1.8 onwards, you can Java allows this default method. Default methods. You can have a default implementation. Is that okay? Let us see one real-time example. Java P, Java dot AWT dot event dot mouse listener. Earlier you have seen that. What is this mouse listener? You please tell me. What is this mouse listener?
Interface.
How many methods are there in this mouse listener?
5.
5 methods are there. Suppose here extends frame and then implements. I am removing these 2 methods. I am removing these 2 interfaces. What I am doing? Implements what?
Mouse listener.
Mouse listener. It is in which package? Import Java dot AWT dot event dot mouse listener, right?
Sir, import here.
Yes, yes, it is an import. Is it okay? Any doubts, any questions?
No, sir.
Now I'm simply removing these 2 methods. I don't want, right? Now, do you have any errors in this code? Please tell me. If you understand this concept, then it is I think we can wind up also. Do you have any errors in this code?
We don't
Do
know.
you
sir.
know?
No, sir.
Okay. What is this? Implements?
Mouse listener.
Mouse listener. Mouse listener is what?
Interface.
Interface, right? If we are implementing interface, then what you have to do?
Interface mouse. Before we need to write interface mouse listener.
That thing we already done that. We are importing from the mouse listener itself. But in the case of emotion, what we have done?
We have
Implements
given a-
emotion. We have
Given a method, sir. Abstract.
what? Not method. We we have given which method? Happy method, right?
Happy. Yes, sir.
And then in my frame, what we have done?
Override.
Override that method. Otherwise, it is giving an error, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Now, what are the methods that we need to override in my frame?
5 methods.
Whatever the methods which are abstract in mouse listener, we need to override all these methods, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Otherwise, what it will say? Let us compile and then you will get an Java C interface. Now you can see what it is saying. My frame is not abstract. Does not override which method?
Mouse.
Mouse
Mouse,
exited.
mouse exited method, right? So
Yes.
now what I have to do, I need to override all these methods. Even if I start giving this, see, for example, let me add that method, public void, what is that? Mouse exited, right? Mouse event me, right? I have override that method, right? Now what it is saying, you observe that earlier it is saying mouse exited. Now it is saying
Mouse enter.
you didn't give this mouse enter. Now simply what I'm doing, copy and then paste. Then what is the code that I need to change? Instead of here, enter, right? Save, again compile. See, now it is asking for
Mouse release.
Released.
mouse released. So again what I need to do?
Override.
Override what?
Mouse release.
released.
Okay, I have override this mouse release. Next, what did he say?
Mouse pressed.
Press.
Got it? So now again, mouse.
Pressed. Mouse release.
What it
we
is?
wrote, sir.
Mouse release you wrote 2 times.
Okay, okay. Now it is asking for
Mouse clicked.
Click. Compile. Now what it is saying? Mouse event. So you haven't imported that mouse event. So what you need to do? Import java.awt.event dot mouse event. Semicolon. Got it?
Yes,
Just
sir.
run the
Yes,
code.
sir.
Java space interface ex dot java interface ex. Now you can able to perform some. Suppose you want to draw something, you can write down code when mouse entered what you have to do, when mouse exited what you have to do. All these things you can write down. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
All these events you can handle it. Okay. Any doubts? Any questions?
No, sir.
No, sir.
For example, I want to implement Java P, java.awt.event.window event. What are the methods that I am having in the window event? Otherwise, window listener. Window listener. Okay. What is this window listener? Can you please tell me? Window listener.
Interface.
Interface. Suppose if I want to implement this window listener, then what I have to do?
We need to override all the methods.
We need to override
All the
All
methods
of
in window.
all the methods, right? What are all the methods you have? Window opened, window
Open,
closing, window closed, window iconified, right? So
Yes, sir.
for this, what you are having an alternate window adapter. Just check. All these methods are already available here. You please observe.
Yes, sir. They are available.
Okay. So what will happen? You will only override one particular method which you are interested. Remaining things you don't write down the code. Got it? But what is this method? What is this class?
Abstract.
Abstract class.
Do you understand? So can you able to read this and then understand what is all this? Earlier you may feel like it is a mystic one, right? Now you can easily understand. What is this? Window adapter is what?
Abstract class.
Abstract.
Abstract class. What is this window listener?
This
Windows
interface.
interface. What is this window state listener? What is this window state listener?
That is also interface.
That is also interface. What is this window focus listener?
That is also
Interface, sir.
interface.
That is also interface. Now you can able to understand, right? So now can you please tell me what is this? What would be this? You please tell me. If you say this, you understand the you understood the class. Otherwise, you don't understand the class. At the ending, I have given this example. What is window listener?
Interface.
Interface.
Okay.
Event
Now
listener is also
event
interface.
listener is also.
Interface.
Interface.
That's it. That is so simple, right? So since an interface can extend
Other
Another
interface.
Another
interface.
interface.
one more interface, right?
Yes.
Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
That is how we will be writing down the code. Okay. So these are all the examples till now, how to use it, and then all those things you can. For example, I am having button class Java P, java.awt.button. Okay. Now by looking at this, can you please tell me what are all these? What is all this statement? Please read it and then tell me. Please read that and tell me. What is button?
Public class.
It is a class, right? Button
Yes.
it is a public class. In which package it is?
Java.awt.
Java.awt package. Now, what is this?
That
It
is
is also a class.
Class.
sir.
This is also class. And then in which package it is?
Java.awt.
Java.awt.
Okay. Now, can you please tell me what is this?
It is
That is
an
interface.
interface. Sir.
Interface, sir.
It is an interface. And then in which package you have this?
Java X dot
X dot accessible.
accessibility.
Now, can you please tell me what is this?
Class, sir.
What is this?
Method,
Method.
but
No, you have to observe it carefully. Yes, it is a constructor. What is this?
That is a default constructor. This is all we have already.
parameterized.
Parameterized
Parameterized
constructor. That means you have an overloaded constructor, isn't it? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now, can you tell me what is this? Is it an instance method or static method?
Instance method.
Okay, what is this method?
Instance.
How can I call this method? By creating?
Object.
Object.
How to create object for button?
Button B1
Button
equals
B1 is
B1
equals to new
new
button.
button.
button of
New button and then B1 dot
Set label.
Set label.
set label of what?
Java
Here what
dot
you have to pass?
Any string.
string.
Any string you pass, it will be creating one button and then add it to the frame. Okay,
Yes, sir.
that is how you will access. Is that okay? Any doubts, any questions?
No, sir.
Java P, Java dot AWT dot window. Okay, you just tell me. You just read it and then tell me what is this. Now, are you feeling difficult in reading the lengthy code?
No, sir.
Now, it will not fear you anymore. Okay, now, please tell me what is this?
Window is a
It is
class.
Window class
Window
of
is a class which is available in
Container.
which package?
Java dot
Extend-
AWT.
Okay, is it a normal class or an abstract class?
Normal class.
Normal class, sir.
Okay, then it is
Container.
extending
Container
what?
is a class.
Container class.
Container.
Okay, then,
It is a
Interface.
interface, sir.
okay, which type of inheritance it is using?
Multi.
Multi?
Mul-
What do you mean by multi-level?
multiple.
How many classes it is acquiring the properties?
2.
Two.
More than one, right?
Yes, sir.
When you are having more than one class, then it is
Multiple.
multiple inheritance. Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
Any doubts, any questions? Now, can you please tell me what is this method? What is this method?
Instance method.
Instance method. How to access that method?
Create an object.
Create an object.
Object for what?
Uh,
Huh? Object for
Window.
How to create object for window?
window W1 is equal
W1
to
equals
new
to
window.
new window.
And then
W1 dot
W
W1 dot pack.
pack.
okay, how to set size?
W1
W
dot
dot
set
set
W1
size
dot
of
set minimum size.
set
Got
size
it?
of
Any
class.
doubts, any questions? Now, can you please tell me what is this?
Constructor.
Constructor. And then what is this?
That is also construct.
What is this?
Default that is
No.
Yes,
Uh,
this is
insta-
the default constructor.
yes, sir.
Default constructor.
This is also constructor. This is also constructor. That means, do you have overloading here or not?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Same method name with different parameters.
Yes, sir.
Do you observe any overloading here or not?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Do you observe any overloading here or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Do you understand now what is the concept?
Yes, sir.
So by looking at the code, you could be in a position to observe and then understand everything. That is the reason. Now, can you please tell me what is this? If you understand, then it will be, I will be feeling happy by taking the extra class. What is this?
Constructor, sir.
How it can be constructor? It is a
Fine.
method. Definitely, it is a method.
Yes, sir.
Final.
Final.
But what type of the method it is?
Final.
Final method.
Final. Suppose you are having this window class. Okay. Suppose if I write my window, can I override this method?
No, sir.
No, sir.
That is the reason why we will be having. Can I override this method?
No, sir.
Can I override this method?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
You got it? Can I override this set cursor?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Can I overwrite this get owner?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So by looking at this final, you can able to tell me. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Suppose any method is declared as private, can I access by using the class object name?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay. How can I access this particular variable? You have to tell me.
Method class name dot
What is the class name?
window.
Window.
Window
Method.
dot.
Window dot system sync LW request.
Got it? Why?
Yes, sir.
Why?
Static.
Because
method.
it is a static variable. So if you want to access that, you need to use this class name dot. But how can you access this variable? How can you access that variable? Is it a static variable or an instance variable?
Instance variable. So we have to
Instance
create an
variable.
object.
We need to
How
create
can
an
I-
object.
Yes, how to create object?
Windows.
Window W.
W1 is equal to new
First
window.
new window.
Great.
W dot.
W dot
W1
sync
dot
LW.
sync CL.
Okay. So can I change the value of this opened variable? It is not
No,
possible because
No,
it
sir,
is
fine.
Final.
it is a final variable. Do you
Final.
understand?
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
sir.
That is the reason we are learning Java. It is not for the sake of the marks. Okay. You know, this is having the static block. Java P, Java dot, lang dot, thread, one last. Yes, one last class. Yeah. Please observe that and then tell me every line. What is the first line?
A class
Class implements
interface.
interface.
What is a class? What is interface?
Thread class
Threads implements
Thread class implements
implements runnable
runnable
interface.
interface.
runnable interface, and then that class is available in which package?
Java dot
Java dot lang.
Okay. Does that have any constructors? Does that have any constructors?
Yes, sir. Public.
Is it
Yeah,
overloading
thread.
constructor? Is it overloading
Yes, sir.
constructor?
Yes, sir.
Overloading.
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay. What is min priority? What is min underscore priority? What is min underscore priority?
Method.
Huh? Observe that carefully. Here you have it. How you can say this one is a method? Is this a method?
Variable names.
Okay. Which kind of variable it is?
Static.
Integer.
Okay. How to access that?
Class name dot
What is the class name?
Thread.
thread.
Thread
Thread dot min priority.
Dot
In priority.
min underscore priority. Can I change the value of min priority?
No,
No,
sir.
sir.
No, sir. It's final.
You got it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. How to access this thread local seed, random seed, thread local random seed, thread local random seed? This one. What is this? First of all,
Instance methods.
instance method. Where do you have that method? If you are having this particular symbol, then you can identify that it as a method.
Instance variable.
It is an instance variable. How can you access?
Creating an
Create object.
How to create object?
Thread is equal.
Thread.
Thread T1 is
T1
equal
is
to
equal
new
to
thread.
new thread. T1
You are
dot,
having all these different options. You can choose any one. Okay. Thread T1 equal to new. Among
New
this, you
thread.
can have any one of that. And then T1 dot.
Thread local random seed.
Okay. Suppose if I make this one as private, can I access it or not?
No,
No.
sir.
Okay. How can I access this run method? What is run method?
Instance method. T1
Instance
dot run.
method. T1 dot run. What is this stop? Stop is a variable or a method?
Method.
Okay, can I override stop method?
No, sir, no. Final
No,
is it.
sir.
It is final. Can I override is alive method?
Is alive.
No, sir.
Can I override suspend method?
No, sir.
How can I call suspend method?
T1 dot suspend.
How can I call resume method?
T1 dot
T1
resume.
dot
Dot
resume.
How can I call set priority method?
T1 dot set
Dot
priority of
separate integer
integer.
value.
Of
You
integer.
need to pass some integer value. How can I override set priority method?
No,
No,
sir.
sir.
Can I override count stack frames method?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Okay, what is the return type of count stack frames?
Integer.
Integer.
Integer value.
Okay, what is the return type of active count?
Integer.
Integer.
Integer. How to call this method?
Class name dot
Class name dot
active
active
count.
Active count.
What is the class name here?
thread.
Thread dot
dot
active
active count.
What it will return?
An
integer
integer
value.
So system.out.println thread dot active count, it will return some integer value, isn't it? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
How to get ID? ID of the thread. This method, get ID.
Get
Okay.
ID.
Okay. Now, is it a instance method or a static method?
Instance.
Instance method.
Instance method.
Okay. How to call that instance method?
We need to create an
T1 dot
object.
get
T1 dot
ID.
get ID.
Got it? Any
Yes, sir.
doubts? Any question? What it will return?
Long
ID.
Long ID number.
Long ID. Yes.
Okay. Next, get state. What it will return? It returns some thread state. Okay.
Yes, sir.
How to use them in the programs and then other things. That's all for today. Thank you for joining. Have a great day.